Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Real Mob LCN on location. And today I decided to take a little drive through the neighborhood. Check it out. Dyker Heights, Bad Beach, Bensonhurst, up to Coney Island. Give you a little idea of what it was like growing up in the neighborhood. And a little bit of the places that you would pass by and drive by and visit back in the day. In front of you, you have the U.S. Army base, Fort Hamilton, at the end of 7th Avenue and Poly Place. It's still an active Army base, residential. Some educational training. And to the left of that, facing the water, is the VA hospital, Department of Veteran Affairs Medical Center of Brooklyn, New York, where many of the veterans go to get health services. To the right, you have the park, a Longshore Parkway facing the water, which is basically the Verrazano Narrows. And this park was always known for people getting together, families, barbecues, loud music. You know, back in the day, even now, you had the handball courts to the right, which are still very active. They call them Dyker Beach Park Courts. Right now we're gonna make a right. We're heading right onto Cropsey Avenue, which is still a residential area. A lot of mobsters lived in the area in the back of the days, and probably some now, who knows. You got Bay 8th Street that we're coming up to. Bay 8th Street, if you go to the right, goes right into the Belt Parkway, which runs along the water. We're coming up on 15th Avenue. These homes over here are decent sized homes. Back in the day they were a lot nicer, but residents still keep it nice over here. You got a lot of brick houses, a couple of Victorians. We're on Bay 11th now. Bay 11th and then 16th Avenue is ahead. Now 16th Avenue was renamed a while back to Vincent Gardenia Boulevard. Vincent Gardenia was an actor who played in TV shows and some movies in the 70s, 60s. And he lived actually on 16th Avenue right off the corner of Cropsey. I'm not sure if his family still lives over there, but it was renamed in honor of him. You pass in Bay 14th Street. Right now, we're crossing Bay 16th and Cropsey, Bay 16th Street. Heading to Bay 17th Street, which eventually heads into 18th Avenue up ahead, which is a well-known street in Bensonhurst, Bad Beach area. 18th Avenue goes all the way from basically the water by the Narrows due north. I want to say due north and west through Bensonhurst, then into Borough Park, and it ends up by McDonald Avenue, and a little further in towards I want to say Ocean Parkway. There's 18th Avenue right here. This spot right here is known for a lot of car shops and car salesmen. We got a couple of lots over here. As you go further south, you hit Bay 20th Street. Now right around here in Bay 20th, Shore Parkway, somewhere around here was the famed what they called the bunker, which was basically Nino Gaggi's house, where Dominic Montiglio also grew up, and where a few meetings were held. The Gambino capo Nino Gaggi, who was captain to Roy DeMeo before Roy had his own crew. And there's a story that Dominic Montiglio tells, who was actually Nino's nephew and a member of the Gambinos as an associate. Also, my father's place, the Cocktail Sports Bar, is on the left, which used to be under a different name. It was also a mob spot. Dominic spoke about a meeting one time when after Paul Castellano got hit, I believe it was, where Gotti's crew was invited to the sit down at the bunker to, get details on what was going to happen with the family. Because at the time, supposedly nobody knew who took Paul Castellano out on the Brooklyn faction. They didn't know who took out Paul Castellano and Tommy Bellotti, who was supposed to become either the underboss after Neil Delacroce passed away. And that's one of the main reasons why John Gotti decided to take out Paul Castellano. He wasn't happy with the way Paul was with the crews. This is Shorehaven Apartments on the right. They look like city projects, but they're not. They're just regular housing. But back in the 90s, it basically should have been a city project, what was going on in there. A lot of drugs and a lot of wildness, a lot of wild people in there. So Dominic said that when the meeting took place in the basement, he was up in the top floor with, I believe, an M1 or some high caliber automatic, and he put it on a little stand or a turret or something, and he was ready to kill anybody that came out if there was any sounds heard, gunshots or anything. Nino told him, if you hear any gunshots or anything, just shoot everybody that comes running out. Don't even look. Don't even identify. Just shoot. But supposedly the meeting went well without any issues. So this is Cropsey Park on the right. Cropsey Park is another spot where a lot of people hung out back in the 80s and 90s, 70s. A lot of tough kids came out of this park. I'm sure a few gangsters came out of Cropsey Park eventually. I had a friend back in the day, I won't say his name, but he had a fight one time at Cropsey Park. I don't know what it was over, a girl or whatever, and the crew that hung out there, they stabbed him in the head with a dagger and left the dagger stuck in his skull. I don't know how the kid lived, but he managed to somehow get to the hospital, and he lived. But that was the type of nonsense that went on around here in Bath Beach. We're up on Bay Parkway now, Cropsey Avenue, about to cross. If you go to the right, again, another entrance ramp into the Bell Parkway, and Caesars Bay is actually right past the underpass or the overpass. This neighborhood was also full of wise guys and tough guys over here. It was pretty rough back in the days. Mostly Italian, some Russians. You also had some Hispanics and Asians and African Americans as well, because about a mile up or less is Coney Island. And